Until just recently, this large brick building in the classical revival style here in downtown Reno had been the home for long-term and short-term residents continuously since 1907. It's had a colorful history, and today it's being renovated from the basement to the roof, with the exception of the exterior, which should remain intact. Please hang out with me on this video as we take a tour of the entire building from the basement up with the architect that's responsible for this renovation or renovation in this, which is one of, if not the last large residential buildings in downtown Reno from more than 100 years ago. Here on The Reno You Know. The Reno Sparks area is still smarting from the recent loss of our old Southern Pacific Railroad shop building. And I did a video on that building. I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this one. There was a very real possibility that this historic brick building behind me would be torn down after it got sold to new owners a couple of years ago. But the new owners announced that they would be renovating the entire interior while leaving the exterior intact. And in its heyday, this was the largest apartment building in Reno. Buildings like this one are fairly commonplace in larger cities such as San Francisco, Portland, and others. But here in Reno, this is pretty much the last one of this size. While historic preservation purists would have liked to have kept the building's interior intact, that just wasn't possible. And we'll find out why by showing you the work that's being done inside. This postcard shows an early view prior to a later addition when a house still stood on the corner lot. There's even a horse and buggy in front of the old car out front. Today you can still see ghost lettering advertising the Colonial Apartments, which was constructed under that name for $60,000 in 1907 by two fellas named Charles Kluff and George Crosby. It had 48 furnished apartments on 4 floors, and it was successful enough in 1920 to warrant an addition to help alleviate a housing crunch at the time. It was modeled after apartment buildings that were proliferating in the Los Angeles area. During the first years of the 20th century, Reno's name started to become synonymous with the divorce trade, and buildings such as this one provided accommodations for those coming to Reno for the cure. And it also advertised for long-term residential as well as hotel accommodations for other short-term visitors. Charles Elmer Kloff was born in 1857 and was a native of Wisconsin. He was a contractor here and a widely known businessman in Reno for decades. And I tried really hard to find a photograph of him to put up on this video, and I searched far and wide. I couldn't find a photograph. When he passed away in 1932, his only living relative was his wife, so it might be possible that he didn't have the need for a lot of portraits. It was Mr. Kluff that was responsible for Reno's first power and water company, and he was also one of the founders of the Reno Press Brick Company, and at the time of his death, he was still the president of Reno Press Brick. The Reno Press Brick Company was founded in 1900 and was located in the vicinity of Keystone and 4th Streets. It was wildly successful from the beginning, and it was the only brick-making operation between Salt Lake City and Sacramento for pretty much its entire existence. When you see a historic brick building in Reno, you are undoubtedly looking at the product of the Reno Press Brick Company, which was active for 63 years until it closed in 1963. It used state-of-the-art equipment at the time and used clay that was mined just south of Reno. Buildings that were constructed of Reno Press brick include the Mapes Hotel Casino and the Riverside Hotel Casino, the El Cortez Hotel, the Southern Pacific Railroad shops and Sparks that just came down, almost all of the brick buildings at the University of Nevada, countless private homes, and many other buildings that survive from back in the day. This article from January of 1960 reports on the ceremonial 250 millionth brick produced, which was presented to the Church Fine Arts Building at the University of Nevada, and it survives today at the University of Nevada Special Collections Department. So it's no surprise that Charles Kluff decided to use brick as the main building material here. When he passed away in 1932, operations of the Colonial passed to his partner, George Crosby, who continued to run it until he passed away in 1939, and then his widow continued to operate it until 1952, when she passed away at the age of 90. And stay with me till the end of this video, because we're going to go visit the final resting place of Charles Kluff. And once you're done here today, please make your way over to Facebook and find my The Reno You Know page on Facebook. Follow that and you'll find extras and announcements, and you'll get to see some behind the scenes as well. And also, when you're done here, please make sure you click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And please leave a comment. I love to know what you think. Smash cut to 1972, when two sisters, Ethel and Anna Ross, purchased the building. It was in bad shape then, and it was about to be condemned, but the Ross sisters had experience in rehabbing old buildings in San Francisco, so they went to work on the Colonial Apartments. They spent $1 million on the improvements, converting the original apartments into 162 studios. They renamed it the Ross Apartments, and then years after they changed it to Ross Manor, and they enjoyed a thriving business. In 1975, they had to fight off developers and the city when it was proposed to clear the entire block for a proposed development called the Metro Center, which would have consisted of a shopping mall, a casino, an 18-story hotel tower, and a parking garage. According to newspaper reports, Ethel Ross was mugged in 1977, and this started a period of decline in her health, so much so that in 1979, Anna Ross decided to sell the building to care for her sister. And the new buyers from out of town did not take as much pride in the building as the Ross sisters had, and this started to make the building go downhill again. It was the scene of frequent police activity, rents were raised, and maintenance of the building did not appear to be a priority for these folks. In 1985, the Ross sisters found out that payments on the mortgage were delinquent, and the new owner was not carrying insurance. They also found out about kicked-in doors and holes in the walls, and the occurrence of rivers of water flowing down the hallways. So in 1985, the Ross sisters foreclosed on what was then named the Vintage House, and they were again the owner and facing having to rehabilitate the building all over again at over 65 years of age for them. When they again took ownership, there were 102 fire code violations in effect. Of the 17 community toilets in the building, only one of them flushed, and the boiler for the radiant heat system wasn't operational. The building was another huge mess to clean up. Joining her aunts that year was Roberta Ross, who relocated to Reno to help them out and engineer this rehabilitation project. And she often worked 80-hour weeks just trying to keep up with all the repairs that needed to be done. And it was Roberta Ross that made this a solid business once again, and really a desirable place to live. Several of the residents here had been here for decades. Ethel Ross passed away in 1989 and Anna in 1997. In 2001, Roberta became the sole owner, and she ran the Ross Manor for 15 years until she decided to sell, which she did in December of 2016. The new owners renamed the place the Westland, and it was sold again in 2021 to a Southern California-based real estate investment management company, prompting concerns that an out-of-town owner might not be sensitive to the historic nature of the building and would tear it down. Miraculously, though, the ownership decided that the old building had good bones, even to the point of being overbuilt, and they would preserve the building and bring it up to modern livability conditions. As it turns out, this strip of First Street next to me is currently closed because the city is completely rebuilding the Arlington Street Bridge. So it's kind of quiet down here, except for the construction equipment. Does make it easier to film. As it turns out, almost the entire interior needed to be completely gutted for several reasons: age and water damage, and the need to comply with modern building codes. And of course, asbestos was found throughout. However, when you look at the building from the street, you won't be able to tell that the interior has been completely redone. So let's take a tour of the building with the architect. And the building today has been renamed 118 West, which is a riff on the building's address. Jim Mickey, is that right?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, and I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to walk us through the old building here.
Thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. And you're the architect of this project?
Yes.
Cool. And we were talking before we started to roll the camera. You're a native Nevadan?
I am.
Cool. For how long?
I'm actually fourth generation.
Nice.
My great-grandparents came here from Denmark in the late 1800s.
Into the Reno
Reno
area?
Yeah. They actually started a business, Washoe Wood and Coal.
And so this building was here while your family was here?
Yeah.
So you have a little bit of a connection. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool. And how long have you been an architect? What's your background in that?
I've been an architect now almost about 4 decades.
Oh my.
I went to all the schools here locally and then graduated from UNR. And then to get my architecture degree and stuff, I went to the University of Idaho.
Nice.
And then came right back and have been here ever since.
Tell me, awesome. Tell me about your experience with this building. And I must say that I am so excited and proud and happy that this building is not torn down.
Yeah.
And I think when you're done with this project, from the outside, it's going to look pretty much like the original building, but inside it's going to be completely different, right?
Yeah. So one of the great things that happened from day one is that the people who purchased the building really wanted to maintain it. They wanted to make sure that the original character, anything that we could, support and make sure it stays maintained, clean it, fix it up. Let's do whatever we can to do that. However, we also knew that because of the condition of the building, life safety, heating, there was no sprinkler systems in here. The emergency exits were, fire escapes.
Right. Okay.
So there's stuff like that. So a lot of modern improvements, upgrades, codes, a lot of those things. In fact, even the space that we're standing in, this actually used to be an outdoor courtyard.
Really?
And so one of the things that we've been able to do is all the units originally had entrances in the middle of the building. And so we moved everything, filled this in with catwalks. It's still all open air, outdoor, as you can feel the breeze hitting us.
Yeah.
And so everybody will come through this way, and these are now the entrances into the units. So we actually were able to take 2 units and turn it into 1, so we were able to double the size of the living units.
So how many square feet will the new units have?
Anywhere from about 400 square feet to a little over 800 square feet.
Cool.
And keeping in mind when this first opened up as an apartment building, it was more of a guest house. There was probably 50 or 60 units in this building that were just a room with a window and a radiator. And if you needed to use the bathroom or do anything, there was a community bathroom down the hall. So there was portions of this that was very much like dormitory style.
Okay, right.
And then there were some where it was a very luxurious. A couple of them were nice big, 1-bedroom apartments, fully furnished with kitchens and everything. So you had both spectrums of what was originally in the 152 units.
And in my reading about it, in the early life of this building, they advertised for travelers and visitors as well as long-term residents. So
yes.
that matches up exactly with what you found.
So, the old history of our town was, 6 weeks of residency and you could go get a divorce.
Right.
So there was a number of people, they got their 6 weeks here and away they went,
Nice. So, boy, these staircases are from back in the day, yeah?
Yeah, the original stairs were actually set up to where this was a 4-story atrium. And then somewhere along the way, 40, 50 years ago, fire codes and a few other things started to kind of close some things up and stuff. And so we're trying to restore it back to its original condition as best as we can, but still maintaining all the fire codes.
Nice. Can we go upstairs?
Yeah.
Let's check it out. I'll follow you. You know where you're going.
So yeah, these are the original stairs from 1907.
Nice.
And so we're doing everything we can to clean them up and refurbish them. They've kind of taken a beating over the years.
Was it your angle on this whole project to pretty much leave as much as you could.
We are.
Okay.
In fact, even something as simple as you can see how some of the old original columns and the detail that we're trying to blend and keep as much of that in place as we can.
Oh, it's kind of Art Deco-ish there.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
hard
that
to
was
place that. But
kind of my point, where it's just like there's building elements in here that when you think about that period, that they got materials from all over the place, and so it wasn't just one thing or one style that they did with the building.
nice. A little
Yeah.
mix there. Melting pot of styles.
Yeah.
Cool. So these were, is this a typical, oh, look, the old fireplace.
These are the original executive apartment units where this would be somebody long-term stay.
Okay.
So we're trying to leave the mantles and the fireplaces and everything in place. So we're working around all that with, all the walls were never insulated. So we now have insulation on the outside. We have insulated windows. So a lot of things to make the area more comfortable. Unfortunately, no, we couldn't leave, get the fireplaces going again because the chimneys and some of the other things, these were originally built as wood-burning fireplaces. Not something we can do today.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Are there any other examples of this that are
There
not
is.
covered up?
There's a couple more.
Okay, cool. So these, there's a series of stairways that go all the way up these. What is there, 4 floors here?
Yeah, so this is 4 stories of stairs.
Nice. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then here's our units starting to come together.
Okay, right.
So all new windows. We've got reinforcement, gypcrete flooring to level everything out, and then also gives a level of soundproofing between the floors.
Absolutely.
As well as fireproofing.
Now, you essentially had to gut the interior. There was no other choice, is that correct?
There was no other choice because what was discovered is in an asbestos appraisal. As they went around, they discovered that so much of the building was full of asbestos.
Right.
That it was to the point to where there was little areas that didn't have it and major areas that, so it was like, okay, it all has to
Yeah, you can't really
come
be
out.
selective with that. Yeah.
No, it got to the point to where it's just like you can't leave one little strip because it didn't have test positive.
Right.
And there it did, and so no, it just all had to come out.
I got you.
And the other thing that was discovered is a lot of the old original plaster actually had asbestos minerals in it.
Oh man.
It wasn't because it was the manufactured asbestos that we know from all the insulation and building materials. It's a natural occurring mineral, and it was actually in the sand pit where they made the plaster mixes came from. And so a lot of the plaster walls from 1907 tested hot for asbestos.
Oh geez. Yeah.
And of course lead paint. All these things that we went through for the last 100 years.
All the boxes that had to be checked there.
That was in here, and so a lot of the building was removed down to the original structural skeleton, and then kind of put back together from there.
So, Jim, what was the thought process, either for the ownership or you, A, tear the whole thing down, or B, preserve it as much as you can? Was it cheaper to do it one way or the other, or what was the thought process?
No, actually, the way that we kind of went through the building and systematically just kind of looked at how it can be rebuilt, it was determined very early that no, do not tear this thing down. There's great value, and like I said, the building's was in really good shape. It had some flaws because of the way we use a building 125 years later.
Right.
Those things need to be corrected, but something as simple as even the space that we're standing in, there's never been handicap accessibility to this building.
Yeah.
And so with what we're doing with the modernization, there's actually going to be ways for wheelchair access, ADA accessibility. There's even going to be full-blown ADA living units.
Wow.
So that world has been incorporated in all this as well.
What is the vision that the company has as far as placement of this these living arrangements in context with Greater Reno? I mean, there's bargain basement living and there's ultra luxury. Where is this going to fit in?
Yeah, everything here is intended to kind of be what was, I think, called market rate.
Okay.
Nothing is going to be in the super affordable, but no, they're not pricing way out of the market to be luxury units and stuff.
Okay.
It's just meant to be good affordable housing here in downtown.
And how many units will there be at the
There'll
end?
be 86 units now.
86 units?
Yeah.
Okay. And originally there was what twice that?
152
Yeah,
is the original
okay.
units.
But then the units get to be bigger now.
Yeah,
So
everything's bigger.
multi-room. What's the general layout?
Everything is either going to be a studio or one bedroom.
Nice. Jim, have you found any evidence of tunnels going through under the sidewalks into other buildings? The
No.
mythical tunnels?
No, but it's funny. Every time somebody finds a hole or a loose rock or something, they're always hoping that there's a can of gold coins or something underneath it.
Right.
But they have discovered, as they've been doing work, various plates and some broken bottles and things that were buried around the building and stuff.
Really?
I mean, nothing, historically significant. But,
Yeah.
they're
Still fun to
finding stuff.
find.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's kind of cool to see that.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, this is the primary structural system for the whole footings of the building, is just this basic river rock. You can see that it's probably close to two feet thick, and that's where that was the original composition of the footings for the building.
Oh, and you guys cut through it here? Or
We cut through here to make some new openings.
Okay.
And so
Wow.
that's why there's all the new structural pieces and everything to reinforce it.
Does the rock go behind the wood here? Or is it
Yes.
just stop here?
No, it goes behind it.
Oh,
yeah.
that is thick.
The clean cut. Yeah.
Now this is it concrete and rock, or how did they do it?
It's all it's a grout mix, but basically a concrete. Yeah.
Really? Okay. Crazy cool.
And then even the old, they used to burn the trash.
Oh, the incinerator.
And it's,
Oh, I love it. Wow. And they're still burning. Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Nice. Is the old boiler still here?
No.
got
Actually, it was something we discovered that they had walled it off when they abandoned it. And so when we started to do some of the demolition and they tore down a wall, all of a sudden here's this boiler that looked like it belonged on a locomotive.
Oh my gosh.
It was huge. Yeah, it
How'd
was
you get
probably 30 feet long, 6 feet in diameter.
And it was down here?
And it was still, yeah, because they were like, they just walled it off and buried it
How'd you get it out?
with a torch.
Okay.
They
In
cut
pieces?
it. They cut it up. Yeah, they tried to get it out in just a couple pieces so they could put it back together.
One
But they were
piece
able
at
to.
a time.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that Johnny Cash song. Let's check out the roof here. Oh, I love the rooftops of old Reno. Very nice. So this, I'm sure you had to do some resealing and that kind of thing up here.
Yeah, everything for the roof, the surfaces, the decking, everything has been replaced. New membrane, new flashing, and then there's the new roof that goes over the old open courtyard to cover that portion up, but still maintain the open air of it. And then, of course, modern technology for heating and cooling.
AC.
We got AC and heating for
Absolutely.
everybody.
Now Reno does not, for my viewers out of the area, Reno does not get as hot as Las Vegas in general, but we do get toasty warm. It's almost 100 degrees today, so we do need air conditioning here as well. Now, will there be any recreational things going on up here, or is this going to be kind of off limits?
This is all off limits. Yeah, this is only for purposes of being a roof.
Oh, but it's just it's going to do its job uninhibited. The folks on the north side of the building will be able to get a nice view of downtown Reno from their windows.
So we've rebuilt and reframed to leave these columns. So the unit was designed specifically to leave those columns in place.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. A little Roman touch here in Reno.
Yeah.
So you're building around these.
Yes.
How cool is that? And this is one of the
That
fireplaces.
was one of the original fireplaces.
Oh my gosh. But they won't burn. There won't be
No.
wood burning anymore. Is it just going to be left like that, or
Yeah,
gas inserts or anything?
No, they're going to get cleaned up and they're just going to be left with the decorative screens and everything on them. But yeah, the flumes in there, some of them have collapsed.
Oh, man.
You can't do any wood burning or anything in there. So
Well, at least it'll look good.
yeah, no, we kept that. Here's where you get a sense of what was all the original framing, load-bearing structural walls. So you can really see the difference between new pieces, all the old originals.
And,
so yeah,
1907 wood,
this is
right?
1907 lumber, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And so even on the roof joists and everything.
Oh yeah.
So this is the new outdoor courtyard.
Oh my gosh, look at that. Okay, so this all used to be open down to the ground, yeah?
All the way down to the ground.
Okay.
And so this gives you a good sense of, so now there's this walkway courtyard out here.
Oh my gosh. And so
it's still going to stay.
entry.
It's still going to say open and outdoors. And then this is the new entrances into the units.
Okay, right. And so and this roof structure stays.
The roof, that's brand
what
new.
that's what you're building.
Yeah, so that's under construction, and so that's mainly to cover this up. So keeps the rain and snow out, but it still stays open air with all the fresh air.
This is going to look really cool. It already does. You guys are. What's this product called?
Oh, it's called Gypcrete.
Gypcrete. We're doing some flooring here. Wow.
It's for. It does three things for us. It's going to level the floors out, so none of this tilt and twist of what's going on in the building.
Right.
It actually will provide a sound absorption layer. So anybody who's below the unit, you're not going to hear the noises going back and forth. And then it also provides a fire rating.
Cool.
And so it actually gives us a layer of protection for fire purposes as well.
And I was chatting with one of the guys outside. All of this has to be mixed from those individual bags out there. One bag at a time.
One bag at a time on site, yeah.
Jeez. And this is a part of the new fire suppression
Yeah.
system here. All this gear is new.
Yeah, the whole entire building is set up to where it has a brand new fire protection system. Before there was a few fire hoses. That was about it.
That was about it.
Yeah.
Just,
and then this is state of the art, brand new, as
just
if
like
it
you
was
find in a new building.
as
yeah.
you'd find in a brand new building. Yeah.
Cool.
This is so everything has got fire alarms, fire sprinkler heads. Everything throughout the entire building is all brand new for fire
Very
protection.
cool. And you've reinforced the foundation here. It looks like. Is that correct?
Yeah. When we started to excavate out to do the new patios and everything, things were a little soft.
Yeah.
And they've been buried for 125 years.
Right.
So it was
Need a little love.
They needed a little bit of love. Yeah.
One burning question that I had, Jim. The Colonial Apartments ghost sign painted on the top. Is that going to stay?
We are doing everything we can so it stays. We want it to stay. But as they go through and they repoint the brick and they clean everything up, might lose a little bit of it, but no, we want that to stay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, how cool.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, is this what the final exterior look is going to be? Are they cleaning the bricks right there? Is that what I see what's going on?
Yeah, so what we've been able to do is go through repointing all the grout. The grout's original from 1907, so it's a little weak and deteriorated.
Oh yeah.
So it's re-strengthening the grout, making the bricks stronger, repairing all the cracks and everything. And then going back through and just basically doing a wash and bringing it back to its original color.
Nice. So how do you wash brick? What do you use?
They are using just a very light water and acid wash.
Really?
Nothing harsh, just able to get the dirt off of it. And then as they're putting the grout on it and stuff, they spill. And so everything's just kind of a nice light cleansing of the brick.
The original bricks from 1907.
Yeah.
And they're have you noticed any deterioration?
No, actually what's been amazing with the building is that this kind of part of the building is in great shape.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it's been sitting there for 125 years. It's had 3 or 4 floods come through it. And actually it's been great.
Cool.
One of the weirdest things that happened is when we started to do some of the interior removal of some things, it actually lightened the load on the building and it actually helped.
Oh, nice.
It it just kind of helped refresh a lot of things. So it was very interesting when the building kind of got gutted that it actually lightened the load on the bricks.
Cool. And there's these vents are new. I don't remember seeing those in the old iteration of the building.
So as part of all the new life safety and codes and a health environment, Every room, every space has its own ventilation now. It's got exhaust out of all the bathrooms. Every unit now will have its own kitchen and bathroom, so there's exhaust for the bathrooms. And so previously, when the building first opened up, it was all radiators and no other ventilation other than trying to open a broken window,
Right.
which most of them didn't work anyway, so there really was no ventilation that way. And so yeah, everything now is up to code, brand new ventilation systems, fresh air, and then operable windows.
Super cool.
So here's a great example for how they're going through and fixing and repairing the bricks. So you can see that the painstaking labor of going through and scraping them out.
This whole building has to be gone over
The whole
manually.
building is being done manually like that, and they're
Oh my
going around
gosh.
the entire thing to clean it up and resurface and reset the bricks.
Start to finish, how long will that process take, do you think?
I think it's going to take about 4 months.
4 months?
Yeah.
Jeez Louise. Now, this building is on the same parcel, is that correct, Jim?
Yeah, so this linear building that you see on the right-hand side here, that was all part of the original carriage houses.
Carriage houses?
And it actually stopped here where we see this one wall. And then later on, we're not sure the date, but there was another set of garages and things added on to the back here. Unfortunately, they weren't built with the same care and craftsmanship as the rest of it. And so this went derelict pretty quick.
Oh man.
And it was in pretty bad shape.
Okay, a carriage house, you say? So this is back in the days when there were still horses and carriages downtown, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, there's more of the bricks.
So this is our secret stash of bricks.
Okay. Oh my gosh.
There's
Look at that.
there's a couple thousand of them in there.
Oh good. Well, you'll have
Yeah.
plenty to pick from. I've always loved this side of this building, if for no other reason that old fire escape. And this fire escape's going to stay. Is that correct, Jim?
It is. It's
Yeah.
actually been reconditioned, re-engineered. It's recently just signed off, so it's all safe and ready to go
By the fire department?
by the fire department. And we actually had an engineering group go figure out of New York where there's fire escapes everywhere.
Right.
So we brought in an outside expert to go through it. Like I said, it's been reconditioned. It's all set up and ready to go. So the next thing we're going to do is it'll get a fresh coat of paint, but otherwise it's certified and ready to go.
21st century fire escape.
Yep.
Love it. And this is the Derby Barber and Supply, and I think this is a good example of what's going to happen on West Street. There will be kind of retail or business situations that people can step down into. That'll be really cool in this area. Hey, I am Steve from the Reno You Know, and you are?
Dave Mercer.
Dave Mercer, and you represent the ownership here?
I do. I represent the ownership.
Okay, now do you own the building, or you're just part of
I
a
own
group?
a piece of the company that owns the building.
Awesome. Now, how did you come to get involved with a property in Reno, Nevada, of all places?
Well, our company does we do mostly multifamily. We have a lot in California. We've got a lot in Texas. And we decided we wanted to move into Nevada, and this became available, and it looked like a very interesting project.
Cool. Well, very great to meet you. And I was also telling Jim, on behalf of all my viewers, we are so excited that this building gets to be preserved. This is one of the very last buildings in Reno in this style. You know, you go to San Francisco, there's probably hundreds of these old buildings. This is probably one of 2 or 3 that are left in Reno.
We're really excited to be doing it, and and we're just lucky to have Jim as our architect. He's done a wonderful job, and great ideas. Taking what was there and transforming the interior was brilliant.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate meeting you.
Likewise.
All right. All right, here we are at the final resting place of Charles Elmer Kluff here at the Masonic Memorial Gardens in Reno. And Charles was the president of Reno Press Brick, and of course he was the builder of the Colonial Apartments. He was born in 1857 in Wisconsin, and today he makes his perpetual home in Reno. And I just have to say, Chuck, baby, I just have to point out, how come your memorial wasn't made out of brick? All right, thanks for hanging out with me on this episode. I really enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Today we're finishing up this episode at the Whispering Vine here on 4th Street. This is a place for serious wine people to come. As I understand it, also it gets pretty bonkers at happy hour. So if you like wine shopping in your local, come on down to the Whispering Vine. Also, if you like craft beer, which I do, they have a fine selection of beers on tap. And today I am having a Revision Brewing, which is a local brewery, Revision's Reno as Yes, I said it. That's the name of the beer. And it's a hazy IPA, and that's super tasty on a day that's almost 100 degrees like today. I have been in contact with Roberta Ross via text. She apparently is out of town, out of the country actually, but she really wanted to participate, and so she asked if she could give me a breakdown of some interesting facts about the old building that people might not be aware of, and I have my notes from her text. She mentioned that the name on the ghost sign, the painted sign on the top of the building, is cut off, if you've noticed that. That's probably because the addition was built right over the back part of the painted sign. She said there's 5 styles of units back in the day, and they were larger, but her auntie's forte was to convert these apartments into smaller studios. There used to be huge ball and club bathtubs that were super deep in there. It started to be powered by coal, and then they migrated to oil, and then the boiler, before it quit, was operated by gas. There was one of those cage elevators just as you go in the front entry between those 2 stairwells. There used to be a elevator there, but the city made them take that out at some point. Also, the ants were upset with the city that made them take out some really decorative, beautiful fire escapes many years ago. There were stained glass pieces in the 6 front windows, and they had to come out at some point many years ago, and the stained glass made their way up to Virginia City, and she wasn't sure exactly where they ended up. There was a operating switchboard when they purchased it in 1972. I don't know what happened to that. I don't think she does either. Roberta has the yellow sign that designates the building as a fallout shelter, a nuclear fallout shelter. So you could go back there in the 50s if you needed to. And she also pointed out those carriage houses used to have wood floors and were all set up for horses and carriages. So again, thanks for hanging out. Please like the video, subscribe if you would. And as Harold S. Smith Sr. of Harold's Club always said, I'm with you. Cheers.